What is this investing everyone's talking about? Here's an example. Toby and Daisy are really great at making beer. They have a bright idea. Let's start a brewery. But they haven't got any spare money to do it. Had are too expensive of late. Hang on. Auntie Kathy's into investing. Maybe she'll invest in our brewery. So they talk to Auntie Kathy, who loves beer, and she does agree to invest because she loves beer, but also she thinks they can make a go of it. Of course, that money has been making money for Auntie Kathy in her investments. So if she's going to invest it in Toby and Daisy's brewery, she needs to get some money back to make up for that. So they agree. If the business makes profits, they will pay some of those profits to Auntie Kathy in dividends and also give her some beer. That makes Auntie Kathy very happy because she likes money and she really likes beer. Of course, especially in the early years, there weren't always profits, so there wasn't any money for dividends. But Auntie Kathy understands that and is willing to wait. And she's still getting some beer. In the end, they do ride through the tough years and make it a success. Lovely's beer is made and enjoyed by all, and the brewery becomes worth money. After a while, they decide they want to go travelling, so sell the brewery for a profit and pay back Auntie Kathy, who can reinvest her money elsewhere, or spend it on something else, probably more beer. Realistically, if you're investing, you don't just invest in one small firm. That's very risky, because a lot of firms go bust, especially the small ones. You invest in lots of different types of companies, in different industries, in different parts of the world, big multinational companies and smaller ones. That's called diversification and reduces your overall risk whilst allowing you to share in the profits made by the great companies of the world. Of course, you don't have to go out and find all those individual companies to invest in, heaven forbid. You can invest in funds, like a global index fund. You buy units in a fund which invests in lots of different businesses, in lots of different sizes, lots of different industries all around the world. Your fund holding may pay you some income, but also should go in value over time. So when you want your money back, you can sell some of your units, hopefully at a profit. This is easier and less risky than buying individual shares. But if it still feels a bit shady making money like that, then you can look for investments that specifically exclude investing in things that you think are bad, like armaments, tobacco, oil, or ones that include things that you think will be good, like planting trees, producing renewable energy, or generally saving the world. That's called sustainable investing, or ESG, where they assess environmental, social, and governance factors to measure how much good or otherwise a company is doing. So what's the difference between saving and investing? Now, I know you're comfortable with saving. You put your money away in the bank where you know it's safe. But they don't just put it in a shoebox in a drawer. They invest your money wherever they like. They make a nice profit and just give you a bit of interest for the use of your money. Meanwhile, inflation means that your money is worth less each year, and interest is generally paid at a level lower than inflation, so your money is worth less when you go back to use it than when you put it away. The taxman might want to bite out of it too, which is why it's good to get it tucked up in ISAs where he can't get his hands on it. So to grow the buying power of your money in real terms, you need to invest in real-world assets. So that's the great companies of the world who make things, provide services, make profits, and grow in value over time. Also property, but you've probably got that covered already with the home you live in. So this way your money grows over time in real terms, whilst cash is reducing in value or maybe just keeping pace with inflation. The top pair of lines on the graph are shares, the bottom pair cash. The top one in each pair is in money terms, and the bottom one is after returns are adjusted for inflation. Not looking too good for cash there. Because the scary thing about investing is that its value goes up and down. This graph shows how the market went down quite sharply during COVID. Then a lot of people panicked and sold their investments, and that's the thing you mustn't do. You only make a loss if you sell. Until then, it's just a number on a piece of paper. For people who held their nerve, it bounced back in just a few months. Mentioning no names. So over that 5-year period, including that dip, the global return was 82.5%, which is pretty darn good. And that's one of the good things about a JISA. It protects you from making that mistake because the money can't be taken out until your child reaches the age of 18. That 18 years also gives you access to the power of compounding. It was called the eighth wonder of the world by a very clever chap you might have heard of called Einstein. So the idea of compounding is the first year you invest. If you make a profit, the next year you invest your original money and the profit. So you get profit on your profit, as well as on your original investment. And so it builds, getting growth on growth on growth. It just gets better over time. This is why starting investing early makes such a big difference. If you just get £10,000 invested over the first 2 years and don't put in any more after that, we're still talking about trebling your money to over £32,000 if you get a 7% a year return, which is fairly realistic for shares, whereas cash just bumps along, increasing a little bit. But if you've educated them so they're smart enough to keep the money invested when it rolls into an ISA of their own at the age of 18 and stay invested until they get to 30, when they realistically might be trying to invest for their first property, we're talking about multiplying by 7 to over 73,000 rather than just adding a few grand. And that's a really significant difference towards buying their first property. And remember, you're not alone in this. Work together with your family. I'm sure some of them are smart people who know about investing. If not, then get yourself professional help. If you have other money to invest, you might get a financial advisor. But if it's just the JISA, that probably won't be financially viable for them due to the cost of being regulated. But did you know you could get a financial coach who can give you a similar service at a fraction of the cost because they don't have the expense of being regulated? They give financial guidance that empowers you to make good financial decisions for yourself. And don't forget to offer Grandma, Auntie Kathy, Mum and Dad, everybody else, a chance to contribute to the JISA because they care about your little one as well and be glad to help give them a good financial start in life. If you still prefer to save in cash for the little one, that's fine. The total of everyone's contributions to your junior ISA each year can't be more than £9,000, but you can set up separate cash and investment JISAs and share that allowance between them. So people who are more comfortable with cash can pay into the cash JISA, whilst people who've been investing for years and know from experience the power of investment growth can pay into the investment JISA. So everyone can contribute in their preferred way to your little one's nest egg. If you have any questions, would like some help with this or other financial stuff, just drop me an email. Kathy@myfinancialcoach.co.uk. Thank you for listening.